Hello, everybody. This is Captain Marty Brill. It is Monday, October the 20th. The weather settled down a bit over the weekend. Not completely settled down, but better than it was. Boats were able to get offshore. I'll bring you up to date on everything as we prepare to roll into another week of great fall fishing on the Outer Banks.
Locally owned and operated since 1971, Billy's Seafood has been providing the locals and visitors of the Outer Banks with some of the freshest seafood you'll find. Not too far off the beaten path down Collington Road in KDH, Billy's Seafood has become a landmark for those seeking top-notch seafood at affordable prices. Billy's Seafood also has beer, wine, grandma's tuna salad, and other groceries as well. To see more, go online to billyseafoodobx.com. Billy's Seafood, putting fresh seafood on your table for over 50 years.
Catch the vibe at Fish Head's Bar and Grill at milepost 18.5 in South Nags Head on the Outer Banks Fishing Pier. Open through the Thanksgiving weekend, we are the Outer Banks hotspot for oceanfront dining and all the good times. Kick back with 40 beers on tap, a wide selection of wine and sake cocktails, and the famous happy hour shrimp daily from 4 until 6. Weekends come alive with live music while our open-air pier setting offers unbeatable ocean views. Don't miss out. Your OBX adventure starts at fishheadsobx.com.
The Hatteras fleet did get out both Saturday and Sunday. A little bit rough yesterday, but they toughed it out, and they had good catches of dolphin, mostly the smaller ones, but there were some mixed dolphin. There were some gaffers, too. Dolphin being mahi or mahi-mahi or dorado, whatever you want to call them. Really good to eat, really crowd-pleasing. Good way to put some numbers in the boat in a hurry. We should never take them for granted and be thankful for them. Beautiful fish. They jump out of the water, and there is no way that they're not good to eat. I like them fried. I like them grilled. I like them smoked. I love them in salad, dolphin salad or mahi salad. Really good. They had a wahoo or two. They did a little bit of bottom fishing, and they had a scattered blackfin tuna. And then we had some boats finally. I'm finally hearing some reports of a little bit of king mackerel fishing going on, which that can be a big deal in Hatteras in the fall of the year. They had some false albacore in those catches as well. So pretty good day, pretty good weekend for the Hatteras fleet. The Oregon Inlet fleet, same kind of thing. Small fleet yesterday, but yesterday and Saturday, a pretty good dolphin bite, just like the bite they had in Hatteras. A few blackfin tuna, also just the catches were almost identical. On Saturday, my old friend Captain Jeff Ross on the Obsession caught not one but 2 blue marlin that he released. That's a really good catch for late October. So that goes to show you wherever those little blackfin tuna are and those dolphin, those are jelly beans to a blue marlin. So they're going to always be a possibility of catching a blue marlin when you're around stuff like that. They had closer to shore, pretty good bite on the big bluefish. I heard that from one source. One thing I can't swear to was whether it was just inside the inlet or just outside the inlet, but the bluefish are there. I know there are some bigger ones in the ocean, a little bit smaller ones back in the sound. More on Oregon Inlet in the closing segment of today's podcast. Now, pier fishing. Drum bite has slowed down from what it was, but there's still a few big drum being caught on all the piers. And then there's some smaller drum, like for instance, the Rodanthe Pier. Their drum were 22 to 28 inches, and they rounded out those catches with some bluefish, some spot, some gray trout, and then almost all the piers had a few sheephead over the weekend. Sheephead that's the one that, if you're new to my stuff, it's the fish with the black stripes and the big teeth, and you got to be really quick to catch them. My old guy told me when I was like 12 years old learning to catch sheephead in Florida, he said, "Sonny boy, you know what you got to do to catch a sheephead, don't you?" And I said, "No, sir. What do I do?" He said, "You got to jerk right before they bite." And I was like, "Okay." And then I was like, "What? Jerk? How do you?" That's how fast they are. That was his point, is that they get really, really quick bite. It's a bump, and you better be sitting on go and ready. So we had all that going on. The surf fishing, there's been some drum down at Cape Point. I saw that on Red Drum's site with Kara and the gang and Bobby all down there, one of my oldest sponsors, and that's going to do nothing but get better. They also had in Avon some sea mullet. They had some puppy drum. They had some bluefish there, and there's a few black drum being caught in the surf catches, and we still have a scattered sea mullet. I did not hear of any pompano. That should be about over with right now, but sea mullet, big drum, bluefish, you know what? That's a pretty good day of fishing. So we're going to take a little break here, and I'll be right back to talk to you about the backcountry.
Ready to enjoy the Outer Banks the way it was meant to be enjoyed? Then you're ready to take the whole family to Jeanette's Pier in Nags Head. Start with a walk on the 1,000-foot-long pier to watch the sunrise or a reel in the catch of the day. Some of the best fishing on the East Coast is right here at Jeanette's Pier. Plus, Jeanette's Pier plays host to various events throughout the year, including professional surfing events. For the best day you'll have on the Outer Banks, go to Jeanette'sPier.net or give us a call at 252-255-1501. Jeanette's Pier, milepost 16.5, Nags Head.
So the sheephead are all over the fishing report today. Some of the Hatteras backcountry boats had a good day again on the sheephead, and you're going to catch a sheephead. You got to fish around structure, whatever it might be, an old channel marker, an oyster reef. There's a lot of places where they're seeding gravel and rocks out in the sound to seed oyster beds, and they make great fish habitat for sheephead. So you got that. They also had some bluefish and some red drum in their bite. There was a good, now that's over, all of that was over on the eastern side of the Pamlico. But the northern and western side had a pretty good speckled trout bite, especially early in the morning. And saw Gray Davis had a great bite with Hyde guides. And I noticed that the drum bite, the big drum bite with the boats have been going out there and doing in the evenings, that's slowed down quite a bit. Weather is related, probably, but again, this is not the kind of place that you want to push your luck on out in the sound in the evenings unless you're prepared and you have the proper thing, which starts out with a float plan filed and a opportunity to wear a flotation device. There's a lot of them that are made you can wear that are fishable. So you're wearing a life jacket, but it'll keep you warm. It'll help you to fish as you go along the way. So we got all that to report. And then one last thing, and this is a general statement, but tragically we lost somebody on the bar at Oregon Inlet. And this is not to pass judgment. It's just to remind everybody that you absolutely, no matter what kind of boat you're in, from the oldest, biggest charter boat, the most expensive multi-million-dollar yacht, right down to the speckled trout skiff that's up there fishing around the Bass Knight Bridge. Oregon Inlet is a place that you don't take any chances with. I'm not saying that anybody did anything wrong, but a boat coming in not real familiar with Oregon Inlet overturned and there was loss of life. So the bottom line is, know this: once you come under the Bass Knight Bridge, you are, especially if the tide is outgoing, that whole Pamlico Sound and all the other sounds drain right out that inlet. And when the wind is out of the northeast, it pushes the swell right in the inlet. This is not a little inlet like the one at Rudy Inlet or the one I grew up in at Ponce Inlet. It is a big, wide, vast inlet. Same thing as Hatteras, same thing as Ocracoke. And it can break across there, and it can be really a struggle. So if you go underneath the Bass Knight Bridge in your skiff, you've heard me preach it before, and you don't have enough rope, enough anchor chain, and a decent Danforth anchor to stop your drift on outgoing tide, you're going right there. And on Saturday, it was breaking all the way across. And this was a person delivering a boat, and he came across the bar and had a probably broach. It's hard to say. I don't need to get into that, and I'm not faulting him at all. 30 other boats came across the bar on Saturday as well, but all of those people, it was home turf, and they were a little more familiar. So be careful, please. Learn what you can about the bar and make sure that you have the proper safety equipment before you go out. That's really all I have for you today. Our thoughts and prayers are for that gentleman's family that was on that boat. And go out and have a great week this week. I think we're going to have decent weather and good fishing according to the people I've talked to. May the good Lord bless you.